we're going to give you a brief synopsis of our brother's bio because it's very extensive. And Sister Sylvina, why don't you share with us some of the accomplishments of Brother Uche?
Thank you, I will. So Brother Uche has a doctorate degree, a Doctorate of Business Administration. He is the CEO of Nwabuike Ventures, and he's the founder of such. Under that company umbrella, he has founded Miss Africa Malaysia, Mr. Africa Malaysia, Manhunt, and AfroAsia Festival. His awards for such endeavors include African Personality of the Year 2019. He was voted in the top 20 inspiring Africans in Malaysia in 2020. And last but not least, he came in the top 100 talents in Malaysia in 2021. Now that, if you notice, that wasn't limited to Black, okay? It was just the top talents. And it was just the top 20. So welcome, Brother Uche. I'll hand back over to you, Brother Abdul Hakim.
See, Brother Uche has put us on the map.
Right.
So we want to receive with a warm spiritual injection round of applause and acknowledgement our special guest, Brother Uche, who will tell us a bit more about himself and a bit more about what he's been doing in Malaysia, and then we will have a discussion henceforth. So please, Brother Uche, tell us about some of your endeavors and what led you to this part of the world and how long you have been there, and what are some of the challenges that you have had to face and some of the victories that you have celebrated with those who you work with.
Thank you very much, Brother Hakim. Good morning from this part of the world. It's 2:15 a.m. right now. Thank you very much for having me on this platform, and it's nice to share my little experience over the years from my endeavors here in Malaysia. I moved to Malaysia in December 2012. I came here for studies. I came to do my bachelor's degree. I started my program in 2013. I studied mechanical engineering, which I completed in 2016. During this period, I got involved in the school activities. I was the vice president of international students. I was in charge of international students on the Student Representative Council. And then when I was done with my studies, I decided to look for a job. It was at that point I realized that it was difficult for people of our skin color to get a job in Malaysia. You know, and after submitting over 200 applications and going for interviews up, left, right, center, I got tired one day and I was done and fed up with it. So I spoke to my friends and I said, what does it take to start a company here? You know, and then my friend told me what it took, and I told them, okay, fine, let's just start a company. My friend said, what do we do? And I said, while we were in school, we were doing events for fun. let's monetize it. And that was how we went on to the body in charge of company registrations. We found out the processes involved, and then we went ahead to register a company. And then we thought, what should we do first? So I told my friends that getting a job is difficult for us. So why don't we do something, create a platform where we get to share more about Africans, where people get to know more about our culture. They don't just know the bad part, but they also know the good part of us. And then maybe in years to come, this platform will help bring about some good things. So I came up with Miss Nigeria Malaysia at first. And then one of my friends had a conversation with, her lecturer, and the lecturer said, why do you want to make it small? Why don't you say Miss Africa Malaysia? So my friend comes back to me, tells me, like, okay, fine, we make it Miss Africa Malaysia. We started the planning, and then we realized that the feedbacks we were getting were not good, because we were like hearing comments like, who are these ones again? They'll just come and do this event, make some money, and then they'll run away. So I came together with my friends, we sat down and we decided, you know what, let's make it big, let's make it happen, let's go through the proper channels. So we started writing letters to the African embassies. We had a couple of meetings with them. We went to Malaysia Tourism. After a while, they granted us attention. We spoke to them. The media departments was allowed to come on board Santa Magazine that year. We had wonderful contestants from about 10 different African countries. And we went on to do the very first one, and it was amazing. We had 750 packs in attendance. The hall was full. We had dignitaries from the African embassies. A couple of African ambassadors came on board. The local dignitaries came on board, and the event was really big, and it was a success. And everybody's there wondering, oh, I didn't know there was this country in Africa. I didn't know there was that country in Africa. So it was supposed to be a one-off event at first, because we were not sure what was going to happen. But after the success of the first one, we started getting phone calls. When is the next one? More people wanted to join in, more Africans wanted to come on board, more locals we are looking forward to it, because they could learn one or two things. So we sat down together and we decided, you know what, let's not just focus on beauty pageants. Let's try to use this platform to educate people. Let's let them know that Nigeria is not Africa, or Africa is not Nigeria, because sometimes when you tell people, oh, I'm from Africa, the questions you hear is, which part of Nigeria is that? Some people know about Nigeria, but they don't know that there are 54 beautiful countries in Africa. So we had to come out and let them know, no, just the way there is East, North, South, Africa also has that. There's East Africa, there's West Africa, there's North Africa, there's South Africa. And, there are different people and different cultures and different crafts, cuisines, pertaining to these countries. So we did educate people on this. We are still educating people on this, because it's a continuous process. It's not something that will stop. But over the years, people have started understanding and have started being more friendly and open, and also want to explore, from our cousins to our wares and all that. The platform has helped in making this possible. Moving forward in 2018, we thought about how else do we further expatiate this experience. Excuse me. So we started the AfroAsia fashion show, where we had designers from Italy who were part of it. We had designers from Indonesia. In fact, we had an Indonesian lady who was selling African wares that came down for the fashion show. We had also the local designers, and it was a platform to bring the Africans and the Asians together. That way it's always easier to further share this experience, share this knowledge to them. And, sometimes people like when they're involved in things, it makes absorption of knowledge a lot more easier. This was exactly what we did. It was wonderful. We had people from the Malaysia department come on board. They were there to experience it. They liked the idea of what we did. And then we were invited to come on board to Malaysia Fashion Week. This was the first time we were given the opportunity to come on board, and it was a very short period of time to plan. So we were thinking of doing something unique. So my team and I, we sat down and we decided to create AfroAsia wares. We used Nigerian Ankara materials and to sew the Malaysian traditional wares, where we had the Malaysian kebaya, we had the Indian sari, we had the Chinese chosam, but all sewn using the Ankara material. And there are models who showcase this on the runway. That's one of the pictures. This is Miss Kelly wearing the Malaysian Indian sari, but the material is the Nigerian Ankara material. So we did this since we didn't have the time to do the proper Nigerian or African attire designs. So this was something easier we could do, and it was good because of the fusion, using African material with the local traditional wear. So it did wow the crowd. They were very happy about what it was, and then it's kept on bringing more people to find out more about Africa. People wanted to get more involved. People wanted to, listen to our music, eat our food, hang out with us and all that, go for our events. People loved our events because they liked how merry it looked. And, this events brought about chances for people to interact and then get to know more about each other. We continued in Miss Africa, and then in 2020, we decided to branch out from AfroAsia Fashion Show and make it a festival, because we want to incorporate arts and culture. We want to incorporate cuisines, music, fashion, and all that. We want to make it a wholesome experience and all that. We were on the verge of planning that before the pandemic broke out in 2020, and we had to put that on hold. This year, things have opened up a bit, so we started the Mr. Africa Malaysia, a platform for the African males to also come on board and do what has to be done and also get some recognition. And we've been working on a few of these things over the years. It's getting better. We hope it gets further better with time. Before my coming here, we had some Africans who, were here before us, who did the groundbreaking, mostly on the music aspect, doing the, bringing some of the African artists over here, doing some awards like the Assam Award. We had people like Mr. Stanley, Mr. Solomon, the jurists, who have been here before now, doing some of this work. We hope we can all continue to collectively promote until it gets a lot more better and Africans are much more recognized and not just feared for this color of our skin. Thank you.